Hi everyone, this is Tony Ericetti, and it's my pleasure to facilitate this narrative medicine workshop with Ginny Durda. Here's an overview of the narrative medicine approach and what we'll be doing. Rita Sharon from Columbia, an MD and PhD in English literature, started the narrative medicine field to help physicians and healthcare professionals appreciate how patients cope with their condition by paying special attention to how they actually talk about it. Too often doctors gather symptom data but don't understand what this information means to the patient. So she and her colleagues developed an approach to bringing humanity into medicine, that is, listening to patients more closely, through a process of bringing healthcare workers together periodically as a group and reading, discussing, and writing about works of art. In this workshop, we're going to be doing a close reading of a story by SP educator Ginny Durda from NYSIM in New York. It's a story about a trainer who travels through her workday when memories of her parents suddenly appear, and Ginny will be there at the workshop and will read her story to us. So this is how the workshop is going to work. First, we're going to be doing a close reading ahead of time of Ginny's story. And a close reading is a thoughtful, critical analysis of a piece of art. And the art can be anything. It can be a painting, a film, a poem, a text, a short story. But we want to look at the significant details, the patterns that develop, the craft, the meanings that we have gleaned from reading her story. And then we're going to have a discussion. How did it resonate with you? How did the story actually touch you? What did it do to you as you're reading her story? You could perhaps relate to some of the issues that she's going to be bringing up as an SP educator. When you read her story, read it closely by reading with a pen or a pencil or a marker, something that will help you to make some notes, and mark up the story. Draw lines around significant words or boxes or arrows or circles and connect these thoughts, whatever your thoughts are, with lines and arrows. Draw on the margins, and try to think deeply about what's going on in the story. And it's helpful to go through the story a couple times. It's only one page, so that won't be too stressful or too hard to do. And then ask yourself these questions. Who's in the story? Where are they? When is this taking place? What do you see in your mind when you're reading this story, and how does it feel to you? So we want to resonate to her piece and come up with our own meanings of the piece and what it does for us and to us. And one thing that you might think about is, what other works of art does this remind you of? About the discussion of her piece, together we're going to co-construct the meaning of it. So we're going to be working together to analyze the piece, but not asking her what she means by it. She'll be doing that at the end. There will be some time at the end in which we can talk to her about the piece, where it came from, and so forth. So you're probably curious about that, but we're not there to get her meaning out of it during this close reading part and the discussion. That we're going to be working together almost as if she's not in the room. She's going to be listening after she does her reading and we have our discussion. But the idea here is that the meaning of the art is really co-constructed between the artist, her, and us, the readers. And one of the interesting maxims of narrative medicine is the last person to understand the meaning of their art is the artist themselves. So we will help her to understand what perhaps she meant. What were some of the hidden meanings in her piece that she wasn't even aware of? The discussion of her work, or any work of art, requires radical listening. And what that means is hearing others' opinions, their stories, their interpretation, their point of view of the story wholly, without interrupting them, without judging or offering help. Because narrative medicine isn't therapy, or it's not really about problem solving. It's got some therapeutic benefits, of course, as you will see, but we're not there to help. We're really there to listen and to understand and resonate from a deep place within us. Another method that we'll practice is what's called reflective writing to a prompt. And what this means is that after our discussion about her piece, I'm going to ask people to write for about 3 minutes. about the personal meaning that they derive from listening and reading the art piece. And so it really does, again, require some resonating to the art, to what others have said, hearing each other's thoughts, and then sharing our writing, which is optional but encouraged during this part. Here are a couple of rules about the reflective writing part of this process. First, it's optional. You don't have to read your piece, of course. So if you'd like to, that's encouraged. But if you do share, just read it. Don't set it up. No preamble. Don't apologize for poor grammar, etc. We kind of understand your writing quickly. So just read it for us, and then we will respond to your writing. A couple things about participating in this exercise. One thing I think about a lot is courage. It takes courage to get up and express your opinion and stand by it. And I think so many of us have been traumatized by the educational system we grew up in which we're expected to only give the right answer, and we're ashamed if we don't give the right answer. Here, we really want to hear your opinion. We want to hear each other out. We want to listen to each other and not judge what we're hearing. With that said, a really important issue, though, is trust, that whatever gets said in this room stays in this room. So it operates very much like an AA or a 12-step program where whatever you hear stays here, because that's really an important piece of this. Essentially, it's a community building process based on acceptance of each other's points of view, an understanding that meaning is ambiguous. There is no one meaning to practically anything, and that this whole process is built on trust, which we need, of course, in order to work, and especially in working with our standardized patients, we need to build trust there. So this is a way to do it, through careful consideration of art and discussion about it. So we really look forward to seeing you at the workshop, and if you have any questions, just reach out and drop me a line, and I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Thanks, everyone. See you then.